Welcome to episode 6 of Target Score Brampton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say. That's 6 in Italian, in case you wanted to know there. D. I'm your host, Matt Bonomi. He is your co-host, D. Deep Cut Dustin Fowler Balsera. I think Dustin Fowler is a golfer. Is that a golfer? Yeah. You're going to have more on this in 20 seconds. Follow Target Score Pod on Instagram, Target Score Podcast on YouTube. New episodes every Wednesday. Constant content on the Instagram. You can also check out Target Score Winnipeg with Joey Slattery and Taylor Not Teddy Allen, and Target Score Vancouver with Chris Wiggins and Andrew Savory. We got a lot to get to today. Plenty of action across the Canadian Elite Basketball League, specifically in the Flower City. But first, on the greens, on the fairway, D, what were you up to this weekend, Mr. Digital Host?
I was at the RBC Canadian Open as the digital host. All the content on your phone, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you get your content. My third time doing it, and a lot of fun. Matt, the only thing that wasn't fun is, the weather was a bit schizophrenic this week. Like the beginning of the week, it was super humid. Like I would do my hair. By the time, we got to the afternoon, my hair turned super, super curly. For those that know me, I have very, very curly hair, and it takes a lot of work to get it to look the way it is right now. And then like the first couple of days were humid, and then Saturday was the perfect golf day, and like the crowds were certainly there, and showing up in the masses, and there's a lot going on right now. Jays and Yankees were going on this weekend, and the World Cup, so it was great to see how many people came and turned out for the golf. But then Sunday was just absolutely disgusting. It was raining so much so that they had to push the tee times to 10:45, and I think normally it'd be around 8 o'clock, right? 7:30, 8:30, around that time. So they pushed that, and then the groups are usually in pairs, but they had to add another one, so it was groups of 3, so to speed things up. So unfortunately, it was a crappy weather day, but Bud Colley, I think it was his first major win, and then first time obviously winning the RBC Open. And I didn't know this, but he had gotten in a car crash at some point, and so there was some recovery, and it was a journey to get back into the game of golf. So it was just great to see him and his family celebrate at the end there on Sunday.
Crazy cool story for him. Feel the rain on your skin. I'm gonna get that out of the way.
Literally.
Yes, I do. For the last 30 seconds when you were talking there. You always do these really cool interviews and interactive pieces with celebrities, people at the course. Who did you meet this week? You had Joey Bats last year, my pal.
Yes.
Who did you have this time around?
Yeah, the bar was set last year with Joey Bats. I got a teammate of his, Russell Martin, catcher for the Blue Jays. Great guy. Shout out to them. Him and Donaldson have started their own podcast. I'm blanking on the name of the podcast right now. But yeah, check that out. Great for the baseball season as well. I believe they do that with Lindsey Dunn, somebody that I love as well in this industry. And then, oh no, it's not Lindsey Dunn. Wow, I messed that up too. Might have to cut that one out. Let's cut that out. Okay, Joe, we're gonna cut that out. And 3, 2, 1. They do it with Arash, who is with the CEBL as well. So shout out to Arash.
Renly Fire.
And then the most fun one I had was Jerry D. That was, you've got, if you're listening, go on IG right now, go on mine, or go on the RBC. I did a fun bit with Jerry D. It was, D meets his D, and just like Joe likes to do, he made fun of my height, the fact that I don't play golf. That's all I'll give you. That's just a small tease. But the great thing is we just he's a pro, right? Like we told him that the scope of the idea, and he just took it and ran with it. And what you saw was just in the first take, and all I had to do was just react to what he said, right? So it was a lot of fun.
Adding to your Rolodex of impressive interviews, Jerry D's hilarious. Russell Martin, that's another really cool one. And then Nick Taylor, I think you talked to too, right? You always get you're just casually like, Nick Taylor.
Yeah, me and Nick on a first name basis now, so it's pretty cool to talk to Nick.
Well, it sounded like a lot of fun, and you crushed it as per usual. Again, always fun to find little Instagram nuggets and surprises when you scroll on, and you're always at the top of the feed. So, ton of fun there.
I'm sorry that you got stuck with Joey, man. I know that was a bit of a drag for you, and even listening to it was like pulling teeth. But this is why you're one of the best in the industry.
I almost wore all black today to mourn the loss of a week of a podcast. We might.
Speaking of mourning,
I was gonna say, we might want to wear some black this week. Record up here. 7-3, the number right here. taken a couple of hits the last week or so. To recap the last couple of outings for this Brampton team, they dropped a tough one on the road against the Alliance in Montreal, 105-92. That was the first time this season we saw them give up 100 points in a game. Sean East had 28 and 10 helpers. But Javon Freeman Liberty torched them. 34 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. And assistant general manager John Ross said to us, too, they don't make excuses, but it just seemed like a game where they didn't really have a ton of energy. And that could have something to do with the travel, the weather, getting to Montreal, kind of hanging around for the day, figuring things out. And it just seemed like the energy level needed to be up here, but it was kind of just down here a little bit.
Yeah, the first thing I asked John when I saw him, I'm like, "Oh my god, it was so cool that you were able to take the train. Like that's unique. When you sit on a bus, it's a little cramped. If you saw the video that the Honey Badgers account posted, they were playing cards, and I'm just like, oh, that just seems like a way more luxurious way to travel. Unless a plane is. But even with the plane, like there's not much movement, right? So with the train, you can get up and move freely and have a conversation. So I was like, oh, that must have been really cool. And he's like, on one hand it was cool, but the other hand, like it's like they had to take the bus to the train station, and then once the train station arrived in Montreal, they'd take another bus. So it was just like exhausting in that sense. And I think we really take for granted, especially with these development players, the wear and tear that sometimes it takes to get to a game, and the travel schedule, and they're going to Montreal and then they're coming back to Brampton. It can be exhausting. Again, I don't want to make excuses for these guys because they're professionals and this is what they get paid to do. But for a team that's played a lot of games at home, maybe these first couple of games on the road can throw a wrench into their game plans.
And the play on the road turned into home play. They got clotheslined on Monday. This is Brampton by Niagara, 101-84. A little revenge game for the River Lions, who lost to Brampton the other day in Niagara. Sean East obviously not available yesterday with the Denver Nuggets at NBA workouts, which is honestly awesome. One of the cool things about this Brampton team, the staff and management will tell you that their first priority is to build these players up to the highest level. So shout out to Sean. Missed you, but happy that you're there. Stats-wise, Landers Noli, 20 points. Josh Omajafo, 18 points off the bench. Cam Tyson struggled, 9 points, 2 of 10. Tyrese Hunter and Matthew Moncrief combined for 13 points. So the usual suspects not really filling the bucket as much as they needed yesterday, and that kind of showed.
Yeah, the complete opposite of that first game where, Cam Tyson tied the franchise record for threes and it seemed like he couldn't miss. And it even got to a point where you could tell that, Cam was trying to get that record, whether he knew it or not, but I think he was just trying to hit as many as he could. But this game, what did they go 0 for 12 in the first half from three, which is like very uncharacteristic of this team. But we really, really, really saw, we talked about this in the last podcast that we had together, right? Like they rely a lot on Sean East to orchestrate and kind of have garner sort of the attention that he does defensively, which opens up shots for other guys. And, they're still missing that second guy who we're hoping is going to be Jameer at some point. And so when you remove Sean, you could tell that the offense was really, really struggling to find its ways. And, Niagara made a concentrated effort to take away that shot. And then when I was talking to Kimball, he's like, yeah, we're not going to get burned by Cam again. Like we're not going to go down that way. What do they say? Fool me twice. Shame on you. I don't know. How does it go? Fool me once.
Fool me
like
once.
That.
Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
There you go. Yes. Yeah, that's what it is.
I think that George Bush thing when he's like, well, fool me once, not going to fool me again, or whatever that.
Exactly.
No, not Jake Cole.
Same idea, right? Like, and even Khalil said it in the post game interview. Like, this is the cream of the crop, and we've got to take advantage of these opportunities. And to Khalil's credit, like, I mean, it's so great to see him in the league yesterday, but it seemed like he was determined to make sure that they took down Brampton.
Khalil Ahmad, 37 points, 9 assists, 6 boards yesterday. That tied his career high, which came back in 2022. Unbelievable player, and for Brampton too on their side. The tough thing is with a team like Niagara is just kind of getting their final pieces together. They're still waiting on a couple of guys, but that big Ahmad piece in the middle of the puzzle is kind of your heartbeat of your team. If you take a quarter or a quarter and a half or 2 quarters to try to sort your offense out without Sean East, Niagara's not going to wait around. Like, they're not going to say, well, you know what, take your time, we'll figure it out, then we'll start playing and we'll actually start. Like, they're just going to steamroll you. And I think that's kind of what happened yesterday. Niagara certainly never took their foot off the gas. Like, Khalil was going full throttle the entire game, Nathan Kayo was involved in the mix. They got bigs down low, Lufile and Mula. Like, it's very hard to play this Niagara team, and that's a glimpse of the back-to-back champs. Like, it's a different looking team, but Brampton really had no response to it. Like, Brampton didn't play terrible, but there were a couple guys that you could tell maybe kind of were trying to search for their footing and find their identity on the offensive end without Sean. And I mean, like, again, take Iron Man. You're a Marvel guy. Take Iron Man's whatever the heck that thing is out of his body, and the suit kind of just sits there, and it's kind of just a suit. And I'm not saying that there aren't important pieces on this team. They're not gonna be able to survive without Sean, but that's the franchise guy. And then
Yeah,
that's a testament to how good Sean actually is.
and I've already talked about the threes, right? Like, this is one of the best 3-point shooting teams, and a lot of that's because of Tyson. But the other things that they've been good at, they weren't able to excel in. That's offensive rebounding, rebounding overall, and steals, right? This is a team that prior to these first two games, they're 1 and 2 in those categories. And unfortunately, last night, Niagara was able to beat them out everywhere. On the box score, and like just looking it over now, like there was nothing really
Mhm.
that Brampton did better than them except for go to the free throw line. And I think after the first half, 53% of their points came from the free throw line, which is the complete opposite of what we're used to. Like, normally they don't get to the free throw line because they're able to hit so many of their shots and they're not attacking the paint as much. So it was just frustrating overall. Again, on the plus side, this was an opportunity to see what some of these other guys have without a Shawnees, right? We already talked about Landers Nolly. He was really able to, you know, fill up the stat sheet, and even Omajafu, right? Like, you saw that he was really making an effort to score buckets late in the game there when they were making a couple of runs. The crazy thing is, like, anytime, and shout out, and shout out to Kimball for this. Anytime Brampton had momentum and we're getting it within double, like within that 10 to 8 point range, like I think the closest they got to 12, and it seemed like they were going to cut it down to single digits. Kimball will call a timeout, and I was there on the sidelines. You wouldn't have known that they were down, they were up double digits. Like, Kimball was in
Mhm.
their faces and down their throats saying, hey, this is not acceptable. We can't let these guys chip away the same way we did in target time in our last game. So
Yeah.
just great. I think it was just a masterclass in coaching. Like, Kimball just did a really good job last night.
And he said to Joe and I before the game, he was like, "I didn't even wanna tell my guys." He goes, "I was this close to not telling my guys that Sean wasn't playing, because I don't
Mm.
want them to take anything for granted and kinda be like, 'Oh, you know what? Their guy's not there, then we're gonna take our foot off the gas and kinda relax.'" But he's intense, Kimball, which is awesome. I mean, he's such a good leader, and, as Khalil Ahmad said to you in the post-game interview there, 10 out of 10. He's a 10 out of 10 coach. He's done everything that they could ask of him so far. So, yeah, 2 tough losses there for Brampton,
I
which,
I I just want to quickly ask you. We got our first look at Taj Green yesterday.
mm.
I talked to him prior to the game, and I kept saying this guy's got golden retriever energy. I'm really excited what he's gonna bring. But what did you like of what you saw last night?
Yeah, he's kind of like, I think the correct term would be like a stretch player. Like, he can go inside, he can play perimeter, he's involved. Like, his energy was crazy too. Like, he's running up and down
Ye-
the court full speed. Like, he is into it. And I think, like Joe always says, the team that tries harder will always win in the Canadian League Basketball League. And that could be cliche. It's like the smarter student's always going to do better. Well, not always. I mean, but in this case, in this league, I think if you put 100% effort into every single possession, which Brampton has been so good at, obviously, to start the season. Team like Scarborough, too, like, those guys are going so hard at the wall and they're not going to stop. That's kind of the vibe I got from Taj Green. And I think the tough thing, too, is like, it's a tough time for these guys to come in when Sean is away, because it's, again, an identity thing. Like, is Taj coming in with the mindset, like, I got to be the guy now? Because we've heard so much about the expectations and how good of a player he is, obviously. But then it's kind of tough. Like, does Sean come back in a couple of weeks or a week or whatever it may be, and all of a sudden everything shifts, and the disequilibrium becomes equilibrium and everything balances? I mean, that's the tough thing. But I think the shades that we saw yesterday, like, it was good. Like, Landers Noli, Taj Green, and again, Noli had what, 20? Taj Green, I think maybe had 11, I want to say, or something like that.
He had
Uh,
4 and 6, so
okay, I'm
four
off
point
there.
six rebounds.
But still, like, involved, right? Like, it's gonna take time to massage. Like, you get a knot in your neck, it's not coming out with one press, right? You gotta slowly massage it in and figure things out. But that's gonna take time too. But Tosh Green, I was impressed with. I mean, energy wise, he was everywhere.
And to answer your question, I talked to him pre-game and he said to me, like, they've already established a chemistry here. I'm not here to come and disrupt it and do anything more than I
Mm.
have to. He said, with Serta, whatever's asked of me, if I have to go in and use up all my fouls, like that's what I'm gonna do. I think he really, really understands what it takes to be a champion because he's coming fresh off of one in Bulgaria. And so he's bringing that mindset. And the great thing that he kept saying to me, he's like, I want to finish this year with 2 championships under my belt. And so whatever these guys need from me, I'll do it. And he told me, like, I don't know if we're allowed to swear on this thing, but like he said, he's a good shit talker and he's ready to get into people's jerseys. And we saw it yesterday. He was on the bench and he was barking back and forth with Khalil to the point that Khalil would come over to the bench and they had to be separated. And I think this team is sort of missing, like, it is a tough team, but someone that's going to talk. And so I think he's going to be able to fill in that role. And then the energy on top of that. He described himself as like a Dennis Rodman. He said, I want to come in here. I want to get all the rebounds. I want to ruffle some feathers and I want to be able to stand up for my guys. And so for a team, and we saw them get pushed around a little bit in Montreal last night. And then you talked about, the dominance that, Niagara showed in the paint last night as well. So, I think with a little seasoning and him getting used to these guys and them getting familiar with him, and he's going to be a guy that we have through to the playoffs. Like, we're going to see him for the rest of the year, unless again he's lucky enough to get picked up by someone or given a G League chance. I mean, G League, sorry, Summer League chance. I think that. I think that he's gonna have an impact on this team. It might not necessarily show on the box score, but he's gonna be seen and felt.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine Brampton makes it to the finals and they're playing in the 3-game series, and Taj Green, a la Dennis Rodman, just says, "I need to go to Vegas for like 2 days," or like, "I'm going to be on WWE and I'm just going to go do." Could you imagine that happens?
What a
Comes
great
back from
reference.
outside, all kinds of. Didn't think I had that WWE in me, did you, D?
No, yeah, he
No.
was
Just let
Dennis
me
Rodman,
know.
a fame. What was it? Bash at the Beach with Hulk Hogan. He was this,
Yeah,
and then now,
yeah.
yeah, he's in the WWE Hall of Fame as well. So hey, maybe there's something for Taj there.
Taj might get picked up by WWE, but who knows? Upcoming schedule for Brampton: the 7-3 Honey Badgers go on the road for the next 3 games. Wednesday in Calgary, that's an 0-10 Calgary team. Saturday against Vancouver. Vancouver's also 7-3. That is going to be interesting. Vancouver's right now a game ahead of Winnipeg for first in the Western Conference, and Mitch Creek is back. Vancouver yesterday lost to Scarborough. Scarborough will be the last team on this 3-game stretch for Brampton. They're 8-1, and they're the only team north of Brampton in the Eastern Conference. They've won 4 in a row, which is the longest active winning streak in the Canadian League Basketball League. That Scarborough Vancouver game yesterday was nutty on Monday night. And I think this back-to-back for Brampton, like getting Vancouver and Scarborough, and there's 7 days between these games, or 7 days, it's Saturday to Saturday. But that is going to be an insane test. And that, I think, is, we said earlier, we've established it's very hard to win on the road in this league. But winning in those arenas is going to be a pretty tough test, I think.
Yeah, and I mean that first matchup was fireworks. We saw Jalen House come in and do his thing, and it's going to be interesting because Brampton's going to be lucky enough that they don't have to deal with Mitch Creek, right? Mitch Creek's tour is very short, and the way the schedule works out, the Brampton's going to be able to benefit from that. But Vancouver, I'm sure, is going to be very, very fiery and very, very motivated after the results of the game last night against Scarborough. So I want to be optimistic, but it's going to be a really, really tough game regardless. So let's hope that Sean East is back for that game. He's got some time, so we'll see what happens as a result of that. But man, last night could have been a preview of what the finals could be as well.
Yeah, that was a crazy back and forth game. I mean, nice to see Mitch Creek back. I always love seeing that guy stirring it up. And again, like you said, probably a short stint because he's got to go for national duty after this. The big Aussie, oi, oi, oi guy. But yeah, honestly, that Scarborough game is one that is certainly circled. The Vancouver game, smaller circle because we've already seen that. But Scarborough, I think, is going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy match. And it's interesting, too, because this is the first time we've seen Brampton lose back-to-back games. They've also given up 100-plus points 2 games in a row, something that they haven't done at all this season in a single game. So it's kind of like Brampton is teetering a little bit, and these other teams are on the rise. So this is like where you get the gut check, character check. But I'm sure after on Monday's game, there's going to be a different kind of game plan for these guys to figure out. You look confused. What's wrong?
Well, I'm just looking at the schedule right now, and so Brampton is 2-1 on the road, but I don't think they've ever played back-to-back games on the road. Yeah, they haven't played, so this is going to be their first time playing back-to-back games on the road. So it's a blessing and curse, right? Like the front half of their schedule has been really front loaded with home games, and they're 2-1 on the road, which right now, which is great. But you got two West Coast teams, one that's looking for their first win. Don't want to underestimate that Calgary team. They've made a switch at head coaching, so I'm sure those guys will be fired up to get Coach DeVero. Am I saying that right? DeVero?
Dave DeVero, yeah.
DeVero, his first W over there, and he's a great guy and he's a great coach. And then obviously, Vancouver doesn't need motivation; they'll want to win that game after again losing to Scarborough.
And that was a team yesterday, that Vancouver team, without Tyrese Samuel, who is with the Portland Trailblazers. Similar
Yep,
thing as Sean
good point.
East, NBA workouts. So you slot him back in the lineup, it's like, oh my gosh, like this just turns into a whole. And again, it's just the same thing we've been saying.
It,
Every
it really is an
team,
embarrassment of riches over there in Vancouver, right? It's like, hey,
like,
Tyrese can't play today, but we'll give you the reigning MVP back
yeah,
for a
yeah.
game or two.
How's this guy? Just slot him in. Same with Scarborough. They just signed Khalil Miller. They got him back now too. So like they're just
Yes.
plugging away, and it's kind of nice now to see this point in the season. Like even with Brampton, they got Noli, they got Green. They're slotting guys in now, and they're kind of in that next stage of like once you kind of establish yourself as one of the top teams in the league, you can start to plan for guys to leave and move on, whether it's NBA workouts, overseas commitments, but that kind of thing. You can see the minds working, and the wheels are in motion there, where they want to set themselves up where if they fall, they have a padded area they can hit and still be comfortable with the team they have.
And if you're new to the league and maybe you're listening to this podcast for the first time, you've just become a Brampton fan. John Ross said it really well yesterday. Like there's phases to this season, right? The first phase is like the roster that you have. And you don't have all the best players because most of them are usually overseas, fulfilling their commitments and finishing out their obligations overseas. Second phase is kind of where we're now, right? We're seeing Khalil, we're seeing Mitch, we're seeing some of the old faces, the old guards come in, and these teams will slowly start to take shift. And then the third phase is, we lose a lot of these guys to summer league, right? And so, there's that final stretch of the season, playoff positioning comes into play, and teams trying to get themselves situated for what will be run to the championship, and then the playoffs happen, and that's the final phase, right? So kind of 4 phases to this season, and so right now it's a lot of fun because now we're going to start to see a lot of these guys that we might be familiar with, and there might be some hidden gems that are coming in that we have no idea about that will come and make a splash in this league as well.
I was so excited too because Joe, of course, loves Josh Omajafo, rightly so. He's come off the bench for a number of games. He started a couple, but he's a Hamilton guy. Joe says the center of the universe. But I was
The
thinking to myself,
mayor.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, some guys might leave, and Josh is gonna have a larger role. And then Joe said yesterday he was working out with the Raptors. So selfishly, I'm like, I love watching this guy. I'm like, let's not have a potential loss here down the line. But who knows, right? I mean, that's the beauty of it. It's good for those guys, and
That's
they.
that's the one thing I've learned about this league, man. You probably too is like you can't get too attached to anyone because
No,
if
no.
they're good, we're not seeing them again, unfortunately, and obviously for good reason.
No, no, no. And to recap again, Brampton going on the road. They'll have Calgary, Vancouver, and Scarborough in that order starting on Wednesday, and then stretching to not the upcoming Saturday, but the Saturday after that. That's a wrap on episode 6 of Target Score Brampton and D, the $1 million question. It is time, my friend. This 3-game road trip for Brampton. Your prediction, record-wise, is.
Is it 3 games?
Yeah. Calgary,
Oh, I thought it was 2 games.
Vancouver, Scarborough. Where have you been?
Oh, right, Scarborough. I don't. You know what? Because it's like down the road. For some reason, I probably just didn't register
Road
that
game.
Scarborough is a road
Road
game.
game. Yeah, road
Um,
game.
oh, again, it depends if Sean plays, but it's probably gonna be 1 and 2, man. It's gonna be really, really,
Mm,
really tough, unfortunately.
interesting.
Again, if Sean plays, I think it could be a 2 and 1. But it just depends on what roster we have for these games. But it might be tough go these 3 game stretch.
I'm gonna go 2-1 regardless. I think they're gonna split between Scarborough and Vancouver, and I think they're gonna beat Calgary. I don't know who they're gonna beat between
Mhm.
Scarborough and Vancouver. I don't know, but it also matters too, right? Like if Tyree Samuel again is not there in Vancouver, if Mitch Creek potentially isn't playing. Who knows though? I mean, those teams are tricky. They like to throw the bag every now and then where you just kind of get all the tricks from underneath the hat. But we'll see. I'm gonna say 2-1. You're sticking with 1 and 2?
I thought when you said the bag, I thought you meant like all these players that they're bringing in.
No, I don't handle the financials. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. A quick reminder, you can watch the Honey Badgers on the road Wednesday in Calgary. You can find all the fun stuff, CEBL Plus, CEBL YouTube, CBC Gem on YouTube, or CBC Gem. And, of course, D will be on the next episode of Target Score Brampton. That'll be next Wednesday. And it's every Wednesday with new guests and a new host next week, too. D, what are you going to do?
I was gonna say I just put up a LinkedIn post for anyone that wants to join me and be my co-host on the podcast. There's a void to be filled, so put your applications in.
You get a week off from me, you lucky man. But you never get a week off from content. You can follow Target Score Pod on Instagram, Target Score Podcast on YouTube, and enjoy all the fun. D, best of luck next week. Hopefully it's not with Joey. Literally going to be in the
safe travels, my guy.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And we will see you. I guess D will see you on episode 8.
7.
Is that what it was? Oh, yeah. Yeah.